right, folks, it's another Thursday here, and in the Gregorian calendar, it's October 18, 2018. No mistake about that. Now, this morning, tussle at the Senate, the numbers war. You know, the Red Chamber of the National Assembly lost its cool since it returned from recess yesterday when erstwhile minority leader, Senator Godswill Akpabio, insisted that Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki must vacate his exalted seat. The Akwa Ibom state lawmaker said in emphatic terms that conventionally the majority party must also always preside over the minority. His words, reconstitute and restructure the Senate now or I'll stop contributing in plenary. End quote. The tussle at the Senate is about the numbers. Let's have a debate this morning on this morning. Quickly, we meet our guest. Chuks Nwoko is a publisher and, of course, a political affairs analyst. I greet you,
Citizen Jones,
Chuks.
morning, long time.
All right. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
As they say, you've been growing up before my eyes.
I agree.
Okay. Alistair Wilcox is a chartered accountant and a public affairs analyst as well. Welcome, both of you.
It's my pleasure to be here once again, Citizen.
Now, did you see it coming?
You mean the
numbers war?
The number war. If dovetailing from what happened before the Senate went on recess, extended recess, and this is one of the longest, 75 days out of work. And according to some economic experts, each of them pocketed over 75 million naira for being on recess. So dovetailing from that to...
Not for being on recess. They earn it.
Well,
so you are not going to court here.
Well, we're not going to work. If they earn that kind of money, I think Citizen, everybody should close for that kind of a job. But dovetailing from what happened before their recess into now, I think we all saw it coming. Notwithstanding the statesmanship that was displayed in the first 2 days, being the fact that they felt able to cool down, they wanted to address, so to say, issues of national importance. But the fact remains that the underground current was still brewing. And so when it exploded yesterday at the floor of the Senate, every pundit should not take it as a surprise. It was already in the offing. And we've not had the last of it. Because certainly and everything from what the XY minority leader said, who is now officeless in the majority party.
A floor member.
A floor member right now. If there's anything, I mean, it is a war that will keep brewing until the numbers settle themselves, either formally or informally. Because the number war will still brew and brew until those issues are settled.
Chuks, the ethical angle will be there. The majority will always carry the vote. This is more like a cliche. Should Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki remain Senate President, in your estimation?
I think he will remain Senate President because I think he's very good at what he's done over the years as a politician. He's somebody that you cannot underestimate. The way they've displayed that maturity that he talked about is because they understand that dimension about him, that is somebody you need to be very careful with. But what my problem is that there is tendency on our own part as Nigerians to constantly pretend. We demonstrate this pretentious tendency that what has happened and what is going in that place, that we're not connected to it. But I beg to disagree. These people are well looked after. Their spat and the quarrel is going on.
By the state?
By the state. The quarrel and the argument and all the things that are going on. We're not prioritized. They don't care about us. And you listen to the quarrel and the argument. It's about numbers. It's about themselves. But having said that, I think that I have had the opportunity of saying that Nigeria's problem, part of Nigeria's problem, is the political satanism. And that's what you see, what I saw in the Senate yesterday. What do I mean by that? I mean that Saraki, for instance, is a Muslim. Akpabio is a Christian. Other nations that are doing well, what they have done is, let me cite an example. In UAE, why are they doing well? In Libya, under Gaddafi, why did they do well? The citizens are prioritized. people do the right thing. They do the right thing. Ask citizens, what do you want? They provide for them. You want housing, they provide it for you. They do whatever. I talked about political satanism because in that place, if you're a Muslim, you go to the mosque, you hear your imam or Afar preach to you, you digest it and externalize it by doing what? Doing what is right. Probably he's a Christian. Probably he's done what is right by vacating his seat and resigning from his minority position and all that. Maybe that's the right doing. But I think that we all need to do right. Senators, Dr. Bukola Saraki must constantly do what is right. If you talked about ethics, then the ethics of that house must be adhered to by doing the right thing and not subject us to all these sensibility assault that we go through all the time. They just resumed and they're about to start another fight. At the end of the month, this month, they're going to be paid. So I think that ethics must be adhered to. If it's the majority that carries the day or that carries the number, let it be so. But when you disrupt that type of thing, it causes anger in the heart of other members and brings this disequilibrium and this distraction that we go through all the time.
All right, gentlemen, what transpired at the National Assembly yesterday was captured by our correspondent, Joke Adisa. We'll turn things over to her now.
The rowdy atmosphere was a fallout of a point of privilege by Albert Akman, senator representing Akwa Ibom Northeast, who accused the APC in the state of plotting to foment trouble ahead of the 2019 elections.
The plot by the APC in Akwa Ibom to cause mayhem that will lead to the cancellation of the forthcoming governorship election in our state, so as to mobilize what the so-called federal might, to distort the peace of the state. We only bring this to your attention because we believe that as the people, as the party, we are ready for a peaceful, transparent, credible conduct of the next coming election. All I am asking for.
Godswill Akpabio sought to respond to the allegation using the microphone of his closest neighbor, Ali Ndume, since the one on where he was sitting did not function.
Order for the day. You cannot.
Akpabio, a former minority leader, defected to the All Progressives Congress from the People's Democratic Party in August, while the National Assembly was on annual recess and has since not been allocated a new seat. Saraki insisted that Akpabio should move to another seat where there is a working microphone.
There's no senator that is allowed to speak if there's no microphone. So there's nothing that has been done to you that's different to anybody. All I said, go to a place where there's a microphone, you can speak. Distinguished colleagues, let us make progress on issues that are important. These issues that if there's been a senator that have allowed to speak without a microphone, state. That's never happened in this chamber. All we said is there's no microphone where you are, go to a place where there's one and you can speak. Now you have the floor, speak and let us make progress.
What evidence does he have that there is a plan on the part of APC to stop election in Akwa Ibom? What has happened here is a question of the aggressor trying to play the role of a victim. Since my defection to the APC, Akwa Ibom people have moved in their thousands, in droves, into the APC family. So I can tell you today that even though the government in Akwa Ibom is a PDP administration, the voters in Akwa Ibom are more than 80% APC. There is need for us to restructure the Senate. I'm sure you know that. There is need for us to have seats. It is not behind where I sat today is my very good friend, distinguished Senator Shitu. It was after the little noise in the Senate that he told me that he's now in the PDP. And I said, so why are you sitting here? So don't you think there's need?
Then the House leader rose in Akpabio's defense.
We have the standard of how we sit or how arrangements should be.
The leader later apologized for his utterances, and the Senate president on his part assured the legislators he was not being vindictive in any way. Saraki subsequently directed the Senate clerk to allocate a seat to Akpabio by next week. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Well, pictures don't tell lies.
Absolutely.
And so, just to add that the last bit of Akpabio's address was outside of the Senate
Yes, yes.
chambers. So the numbers war will continue.
No, the numbers war will certainly continue because certainly, like we have said, part of those aggression is as a result of the fact that, of course, the president would always want to. He's a very vindictive and oppressive Senate president. He has displayed
your words.
Yeah, he has displayed that.
But you are not a member of the Senate.
I'm a keen watcher or an interested party of what happens in my country.
Chooks does not agree.
I do agree.
Chooks does, because the truth of the matter is, we've known that in this 8 Senate is the worst that members have been suspended.
That's not the thrust of Senator Akpabio's grouse.
Yes, I'm coming.
Akpabio is saying, so we'll go back online.
Yes.
Akpabio is saying, I, PDP, Senate Minority Leader, crossed over to the APC, ruling party, resigned my position.
Yes.
You, Senate President, APC, crossed to PDP.
And you want to retain your
seat.
position. Which is certainly, like he said, now, we're talking about the numbers.
But it's not a constitutional matter.
No, it doesn't have to. There is an ethical matter here. There's an ethical matter, complete ethical matter here. Now, if we have gone through this part for too many times, and several pundits, several commentators have given their own intervention. If Akpabio, yes, certainly of necessity, if Akpabio leaves PDP, who was the minority party, he cannot retain the post of a minority leader because you are going to lead the people that's in the minority.
Obviously.
You move to the majority.
That's logic there.
Yeah, very logic. No, that's even very constitutional because you cannot be a minority leader in a majority party.
Conversely, Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki left a majority party at the Senate, crossed over to the minority.
Now, the difference now is no longer constitutionality, but ethical, because according to them, you need, when you are elected among your colleagues, to be removed, you need 2/3 majority, which is where the constitution was very, because you need a simple majority to elect. Now you need 2/3 majority to remove. Now,
members present.
I think they said
they have to vote.
Yes, I don't know if of members present or of the entire Senate, but they are saying the entire Senate. So that's why the figure 72 is being brandished all over the place.
You can only be removed when the House is full.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. You need 72 according to their own mathematics and calculations. Okay. Now, where the moral and it comes in now is that this is the party that made you Senate. This is the party that brought you to power into the Senate, and that made you upon which platform you become the Senate president. So if you are no longer interested in that party, then you leave, and then live with everything that you've earned from that party. Now, you cannot be a minority and be superintendent over majority, even if you can. That is what they call minority government. Now, in the UK that has parliamentary democracy, if you're running a minority, you can run a minority government, but that government can fall. Because if you do not have the trucks, they have by every action of government must pass through the parliament.
Yeah.
So if you do not have the majority of the people behind you that can pass your bills and your actions, you run a minority government, then that government will collapse, because if you cannot pass 1 or 2 bills, it collapses. And that is the wrong. I'm sad that after 19 years of democracy, we've not gotten to the level where there is party ideology and differences.
Yeah.
As it stands today, APC could frustrate every bill that's to be passed in that parliament. And
frustrating every bill would be to its advantage?
That is the problem. No, now the problem will be are those bills, to what extent? And again, because they can't frustrate because they are the government. But if in order to frustrate Saraki, they can. But again, to which detriment will it be? Which is always the part, the side where the British own comes at. Why you just call for an election in order to regularize and to get things better working.
Chooks, let's leave the chambers and come to the streets, because the debate must leave the chambers.
Absolutely.
So here we are. Yeah. It means we have to go back. Tambuwal of Sokoto State has jumped ship, but he's still governor. Were you expecting him to leave the office of governor when he jumped ship?
I expect everybody to do the right thing. When you jump ship or when you defect, we have both constitution and ethical guidelines that govern or whatever. Don't forget that ethical guidelines do not assault our constitution. There's no organization that does not have ethical guidelines.
Yeah.
But in itself, it does not have any conflict with our constitution.
After all, we're told that there's honor among thieves.
Absolutely. So Tambuwal, Saraki, yourself here, myself, and himself, we must constantly do right. Now, what I get offended about is our thinking that these guys are isolated from us, that what they are doing is connected to our nationhood or what is going on. Look, we're talking about the election here. I was reading a report on the internet where we were told that the current president in the past had won national elections, but he was rigged out. I think that we need to constantly do the right thing. Why is it so important? Why is what is going on in the Senate very important? Why is what Tambuwal doing? Why is it proper that he does the right thing? Because we can't make progress as a country where people who superintend our lives are doing the wrong things. It's so important. I might not be able to connect it to show you how connected they are, but these people are showing us bad example. Ababio did the right thing. He exemplified what should be done. And you would have thought that Saraki would be smart enough to follow suit and everybody else. But it's not happening.
But he could, come on. Chooks, he couldn't have remained minority leader because you already have a majority leader at the Senate. He had to give up that office.
Absolutely. Because he has a common sense to know the dedication.
Are you saying Nigeria. He could have retained the office?
Because you have people doing the wrong, Saraki is doing the wrong thing. He could have also sat back there. But what is important here is that Nigeria has to be prioritized because of tomorrow, because of next tomorrow. Somebody comes tomorrow. Let me give you a very good example. There were many things that happened in 2014. For instance, PDP had its convention. You know what it was called? It was called Minimize Convention. Amechi was locked out. Atiku was locked out. Many people, they had a mini convention where many of their members were locked out. And I came to your studio and I was saying that, look, open it up for everybody to attend and let as many people as possible buy your nomination form. It didn't happen. Where are they today? But our example is there and people are following it. We need to constantly show good example. That's what I'm saying. Tambuwal might get away with what he's doing or what he has done. Saraki might succeed because, why are they not challenging him with force? Because these guys that are in the opposition today with him, they have been in meetings with him. They have dealt with him in the 7th Assembly. They've been governors together, and they've been in governors. They know what he's made of. They know that they must be very careful with him. They know. But there's a limit to everything that he's doing. He's a Muslim. Most Muslims that I know, when I'm dealing with them, they fear their own God. They'll tell you, this thing I can't do because I'm a Muslim. There are consequences. I haven't seen him display the faith that he professes. He needs to constantly project that faith because that's why we have heathens in this country. We have Christians, we have Muslims, so that there will be cohesion and there will be spirituality in the faith that we pronounce.
Alessa, does it matter?
It matters.
What faith you profess?
It does.
No.
You see, faith has a way of molding you.
Oh, expectedly?
Yes, expectedly, and as a matter of fact, if you profess a faith, it has because there are codes. Even if you are professing our African traditional beliefs, there are codes. And like he said...
But this is a constitutional matter.
Yes, the constitution and morality are in tandem. Because the constitution...
And faith.
Yes, the constitution cannot spell out every action of a day-to-day activity of anybody. It gives a guideline. And inside that guideline, there are what is expected.
Gentlemen, the same constitution, I don't know what chapter now, lawyers will tell us, says there shall be no state religion. Hold on.
We're talking about religion here. We're talking about faith.
Semantics. No, it's all right. It's all right. We are looking at constitutional matters here. Majority will always at the National Assembly of any country.
They should have their way.
Yes.
Minority have their say.
So now, as we are talking, both the Senate President and his deputy are opposition members in a parliament that's controlled
by
supposedly
by
the ruling APC.
Yes.
So,
and so that is where
that has nothing to do with faith.
No.
I want to divorce the two.
Yes, we're saying this. You see, for you to build a society, even in our homes, we are taught what to do, what is right. The democracies that we copy today, for instance, the British democracy, the British that gave us democracy, that colonial give us, what do? The moment an action conflicts to either the constitution, the norm, what is morally upright, what has to do with faith and with beliefs, the man steps aside. Why will a David Cameron resign his exalted office simply because he lost election that he called? He thought he was going to silence the Eurocentrics forever. And when it backfired, what did David Cameron do? Nobody asked him to resign. Even one of the leaders of the Brexit said we were not asking for regime change, we were only asking for us to. But David Cameron had to do was resign.
Cameron, at that point of resignation, was not professing a faith.
No. He was professing morality, which he talked about.
So
morality and, well, it's part of faith, because if you are conflict, if you
insist, no
problem. Actually in conflict with your beliefs, what do you do?
All right, you have excited the first caller here. Divine is here in Lagos. Divine, welcome.
John.
Good morning.
And good morning to your guests in the studio.
Good morning, Divine. Good morning, Divine.
I want to quite disagree with your guests in the studio. This is something, the issue of the Senate is something that is constituted by 109, and they have laws. And these laws have been elected the leader of this Senate. And even if you debate from another party, it depends for the number now to, if they want to impeach him, to impeach him. I don't like why people are bringing this matter as if it is something that even the public have to debate upon. It's left for them to debate upon it. And they have deemed it right that, look, if we want to impeach the Senate president, it should be constitutional based on the ethic of the Senate. So I don't like whereby people are saying that Mr. Saraki has done this, has done that. I believe by right, even the Ababio himself should have known that he should sit in a seat that has a microphone. But for him to stand up and go and interrupt another person, I don't look at it as a maturity. So when you people are making a personal judgment, you should be looking at it in the other way around. Because Saraki did not say don't talk. He said go to where there is microphone.
Divine, and
let us go into sentiment.
Divine also. You must defer to us, Divine. Divine, we are human.
Please, let us do this. Saraki has not violated any law. Thank you.
All right, Divine, it's what you have elected to believe, and so we can't quarrel with it. We can't quarrel you. But we are saying we also are human.
If you are a Saraki's campaigner, it is your right. We defer to you. Very, very your right. But what we're saying is...
But the Divine may not be alone here. We are saying constitutionally across the world, a majority party will determine.
Will always produce.
That's it.
Leadership.
This is not targeted at Saraki. We are looking the picture.
Go to the United States. Go to the United States Congress.
The former speaker in the Congress. Ordinary Pope went to visit.
It's not ordinary.
Well, it's not ordinary. You're right.
The Pope.
But I'm trying to show you how that. What they had in the place can't even be compared to what happened here. The Pope paid an official visit to the United States and stepped into the Congress. And this speaker is standing behind this holy man. And he breaks down. That's where I'm mentioning satanic politics that we're playing. This guy broke down. The next minute, he resigned. That's a moral burden that he was carrying. And to be able to free himself from that conscience flogging and moral burden, he resigned. What is wrong with Saraki resigning like Saraki? Why do you want to throw Nigeria into another crisis by going through the process of...
So when the Divines are talking, we're not looking at...
And Divine, you don't have to be on the same page with people who are in the studio or with people who are near you.
19 years of democracy, 19 solid years of unbroken democracy. We have not been able to come to that consciousness of, like I said, doing what is right. Now, as a matter of fact, this issue has been debated forward and backward. If you change your party, you should lose your seat and all whatnot. Even the Supreme Court didn't give us a clear direction. So I said when your party is split up. Look, anybody, and it should have been clear, Anybody who come on a platform of Party A, and you choose to leave, that is what is right. Because that's what is right. If you choose to leave that party upon which principles and ideology you want an election, you should, as much of a vacate that. Not even talking about being a presiding officer. You cannot be a minority in German parliament and preside over the majority. In American, it cannot happen. In British parliament, it doesn't happen. So why are we talking about it in Nigeria as if we are talking about because it's Sarako or PDP or APC? No, it doesn't happen.
We have a caller here. Let's team up with him. Hello, good morning. Yeah. Dr. Sidney, you are here. I greet you.
Okay, yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. First of all, I want to appreciate everyone, especially the moderator. I've been following up the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, my contribution here is this. This is constitutional matters. We should leave faith or moral standard aside of it. Faith especially. The moral standards are coming later. But constitutionally, is it stated that an opposition cannot be the Senate president? Saraki was in the majority party, fine, where he was the Senate president. He defected. He's left for the House to impeach him. Since they are the majority, they will impeach him. Impeach him as the Senate president. But you look faith outside of it. That's the problem of Nigeria. We always put faith in everything. No, you talk about the constitution first. It supersedes every other thing. Nigeria is a secular state.
Okay.
So that's just my contribution.
All right. We had agreed. Thank you, Dr. Said. We had agreed here. It's not a constitutional matter. Mm-hmm. It is not a legal one either. Not, yeah. So we are talking about ethics.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Ethics.
And morals. So.
Okay.
Morals. Ethics
so,
and morals.
Don't you see something like this booting at the House?
You know that before they resumed, you had the APC chairman. It was all over the media that as soon as they resume, that they're going to impeach him and all that. I think they have the numbers. I think they have the wherewithal. They have the everything.
Because the chairman said so?
Well, not just that the chairman said so. As a leader of the party, that is his thought pattern. And you and I, who are not members of the APC, we heard him. So I think, and I have heard the Senate leader, APC Senate leader, talk about the fact that they have decided to work on the path of honor, that they needed to prioritize national issues above, impeaching Saraki and find a way of easing him out. And I think that's maturity, and I think that's the way to go. That's the way to reason.
Easing as opposed to impeaching
him. Impeaching him is possible. But you know what usually will happen? We have a history with impeaching Senate president in the past. Yeah. But like he said, 19 years of democracy would have established a pattern with which to deal with these issues. We are discussing it today because we have had discussions. And I think that as we speak today, with all the things that we're going through, the privation, the hunger, the poverty and all that, these people are not able to connect with us. And, reason that, look, Saraki has everything. Mm. He has everything. So when you sit in that position, you're not going to die in that place. You have contested the election to be a PDP presidential candidate. You've lost it and all that and all that. If there's nothing that you lack, you have money, you have people, you have everything. That thing is not your life.
Missing.
Yes.
Power.
So, sorry?
Power.
He has power.
Okay.
Oh, enormous power. That's one of the reasons they have not taken on him. So I think that we must speak the truth and ask them to do the right thing. Saraki should do the right thing. The president should do the right thing. The vice president should do the right thing. You and I and the callers and everybody else should do the right thing. And we have a normal society.
We'll go on a break quickly, but quickly this. In 8 years, Obasanjo had 4 Senate presidents. Was that good? Was that a good development for us?
Of course, never a good development. And if you consider the manner in which all these 4 or 5, so to say, because
3, yes, because the last one
yes, 3 in the first 4 years, and then 2.
Okay, 4, and then he had 5 Senate presidents.
All the 5 instances they produce 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so and if you look at the manner in which that is why some people who do not want to see the good of President Muhammadu Buhari, I don't want to use nasty word on air.
Don't.
And I will not. I'll constrain myself. Because every time it is doom, 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 ascribing all kinds of nonsense to him. This is a man that, if it is the Obasanjo years, Saraki will not last 3 months.
Hold on, may I pause you? We must go on this break and return. Please don't run away. We still have much to discuss. Okay, then we keep it going. Tussle at the Senate, the numbers war. It's no longer news. Former Senate Minority Leader, Senator Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State, has said the Nigerian Senate must be restructured and reconfigured. He stepped down, according to him, as from minority leader after he jumped ship, that the Senate president should jump ship. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Gentlemen?
So, yes, I was making some point before we left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know how the manner in which the turnover of the Senate presidents took. It doesn't take anything for, and today, everybody, the opposition, the same people that perpetrated us, this nasty culture of impunity, of recklessness, are the people now that are accusing my brother of all kinds of nonsense that the man may not even have contemplated upon. It's like what Akpabio said, the aggressor now shouting to be the victim.
Lester, you can speak daggers and use none.
Well,
hold on. That's the advantage you have.
Yes.
Sitting here.
Yes. So what we're saying is, things should be done rightly. At this point, Bukola Saraki has been successful, manipulative, successful, vindictive to his colleagues, those who want to raise their head. This is the highest turnover in terms of suspension of colleagues in the Senate. Most times you're suspended for 1 year, 6 months. Until Omar Agege proved that you can't suspend me. I mean, I'm also equally as elected. In fact, Omar Agege said he was elected by 8 local government, while he was elected by 4 or 3 local governments. So they met fire for fire at that point, and he cooled down. So if it is where honor wants to prevail, and a man who wants to rule the country, who have an ambition to rule the country, and you cannot set a small standard in the smaller enclave that you are the king. You cannot set a standard whereby, okay, Bukola Saraki set the standard.
If he quits, peace will reign?
It's not about peace.
It's not about peace.
It's about
procedure. It's a precedence. So that tomorrow, if there's issue like this comes up, then we will say, oh, a young man, or Alaji this, or Otumba this, or Wefi this, Bukola Saraki, when he jumped ship, he left honorably. You have no basis of saying there was no precedence, or of quoting constitution, or going to court, or God leave. Then we have set a good standard, which will be attributed to him, Bukola Saraki standard.
Yeah.
Okay? And that will last forever.
Chooks, should we make it a constitutional matter at this point?
You don't need to. Why do you need to?
Because the thing has generated so much fear.
Yeah, because you have irresponsible people who cannot just do the right thing. You can't constantly go to the constitution to go and be amending it. We have common sense, don't we? We have common sense. You don't have to do that. Look, this is an individual problem that we're dealing with here. Like he rightly said, you know the number of people that this man, with his high-handedness, expel his colleagues from the red chambers for protracted period of time until Omar Agege challenged him. And unfortunately for him, he didn't know where that guy was coming from. The guy that turned Delta State upside down one time when he didn't get the ticket to be governor in 2007 or whatever. So he was a stranger to him and all that. So he proved to him that it is not everybody that you can do that type of thing to. And he hasn't still learned a lesson. Like he also rightly said, just a couple of weeks ago or so, he contested the election to be president of Nigeria. And he was going to bring that high-handedness to come and rule over us.
Your opinion. But let me quickly team up with Charles. He's in the UK. Charles, we greet you. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah,
Fine, thank you. I am very pleased to be on this channel now to talk to you guys.
Welcome.
Yes, I have been listening very keenly on what is being said and the discussion that is ongoing right now. And I feel truly disappointed by the panelists who are there, who are supposed to be independent analysts, but they totally appear as though they have been sponsored to be there to continue to speak what they are speaking. I feel very, very disappointed. For instance, just take the case of the minority leader and comparing the minority leader with the Senate president. If the Senate president was the majority leader on the other party, automatically, on moving to the minority side, he would leave vacant because the attachment of the name minority leader comes as a result of the size of the members of that party, and they are minority. So Fabio has no choice but to move, but to drop the function of the minority leader because he's no longer a minority leader. But if the Senate president was the majority leader on the other side, on defection, automatically he would have to vacate the seat of the majority leader and become and sit there and to seek the vacancy for a minority leader who will be available on the minority panel. But for the Senate president, it's a totally different ballgame. The Senate president is elected, and the Senate president is the responsibility of the members of the House to elect the Senate president, to choose who shall be the Senate president. And these people calling and stabbing people at the back for no reason. Look, I follow the politics of Nigeria with keen interest. And what these people are, they are just typically sponsored people who have a very straight, one-sided opinion, not to do analysis that will benefit the entirety of the country. Senate president has the right to continue to sit there.
Thank you.
Then,
Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me. I think that, you know, when this type of...
But he has a point.
He has no point. He has no point.
Excuse me.
He has a point. No point.
I didn't even... Can I finish what I want to...
Okay.
You know, I was speaking. You know, when people who also live in UK and follow what is going on here, they forget also that we live here. And with people like me, I particularly, I follow what's going on all over the world. A very good example we gave, that he gave here, or you are the one who gave it, was the Cameroon case. We have a moral issue in this place. We live in an environment where the core values that has held our society together for a very long time has suddenly been erased and has eroded us. And that's why we have ourselves in the situation that we have here. So what is he talking about? I have followed the history of the United Kingdom from the days of Chamberlain.
Exactly.
When he couldn't, even when he couldn't face up to Hitler. And we brought in Churchill.
Yeah.
And Churchill always fought that war by just mere speaking.
Yeah.
He didn't raise one arm or one gun. So he cannot make me look like I am sponsored. Nobody sponsors me. I belong to a different political party, and my face, hold on.
No, we have a caller here.
Okay.
We have a
Take
caller.
the caller.
Ibrahim is here. Ibrahim, I greet you. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Stephen Jones.
I greet you, sir.
Yeah, please, I want to contribute in respect of what the last caller said. Because actually, you don't have to talk very high to the panelists. You understand? All I know is that these people, they were invited by you. They are not part of any political party. So he shouldn't talk like this. You understand? They are only analyzing and airing their views, which is very objective. You understand? Morally, Saraki supposed to be honorably resigned. You understand? But since his inception, since when he even tried to cling the leadership, you understand? He have already stabbed the party, that's the platform that makes him there. You understand? They are not saying that he should go by force or maybe by fire by force. You understand? But honorably, since the Senate doesn't have the numbers that's supposed to impeach him, in moral ground, you understand? Even with his own cases in the CCT, that guy supposed to be honorably
Yeah.
So that's my contribution.
Thank you, Ibrahim.
Citizen Jones,
Yeah.
I think that is a complete illusion. Just to support what this scholar just said now, for me to sit down here and somebody who is sitting in UK, while I'm here toiling day and night,
because he has spoken
making
for
Nigeria
you.
better for him.
Making Nigeria better for him.
He ran away to the UK to go and get enjoyment.
I think it's an illusion to assume that because I'm sitting on that on my own, you call me to come here, and I honor your invitation. Then you say that I'm hired by whom, for, and for what?
Okay.
So he needs to respect people the next time he calls into any program here in Nigeria, because we are making the ones who are keeping this society together. The desperation with which Saraki became president, maybe he's not aware. He needs to leave the place so that we can have peace in the chambers, so that they can make laws, so that we can have our election. That's what I'm asking for. I don't know him, and I'm not interested in his position.
When people who stays in climes that have used their moral powers
to build the
society, not constitutionality alone, they have used their moral powers and their ethical standard to build society. Salmon today is no longer relevant in Scottish in Scottish politics. Salmon that asked for that called for a referendum for Scotland to exit from the UK, lost that election and he resigned and give it to the current Spurgeon. What's
the UK where he lives, is there any constitution?
That's what I'm telling him.
It's morality and ethics that held the UK together. They palace and they come together.
Even the man went. One time Westminster. This time around he lost. Salmon is no longer relevant in UK and Scottish election. Is Saraki more important than Salmon, or more important than David Cameron, who has to resign for losing an election on Europe, on the future of the UK in Europe? So what is talking about? You live in a country.
No. Don't lose your cool. Don't lose your cool.
When people are abroad and leave us that are working hard to make the country better for them, and then come up and make unguarded statements, it's rather very, very unfortunate.
Join me. Let's go to Akure.
I go to UK for holiday, not to go and become a houseboy.
It is true.
Comrade Tokbe is here. He's in Akure, Ondo State. How are you, sir?
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
I want to say hello to the panelists this morning.
Morning,
Thank you,
sir.
Good morning.
I want to say hello to the panelists this morning.
Tokbe, good morning.
We have answered you, Tokbe. Thank you.
Yeah, we are in Africa. And I'm not surprised with the African politics that we are playing. I want to say that my concern this morning is about our politicians defecting from a party. You will realize that most of these politicians that are defecting, they are not defecting for the interest of the Nigerians. They are defecting for their personal purse. I'm yet to see a politician that has defected for the sake of minimum wage, for the sake of potholes, for the sake of no drugs in the hospitals, for the sake of unpaid salaries. And I want to say that you can't be surprised that a politician is in a party today, tomorrow morning he flies to a party. All these politicians, they are all the same thing.
Yeah.
If it is possible for laws to be enacted, for them to be in a party for at least 10 years before they leave one party for the other, this is not practicing the Western world.
They are also.
That is the reason why we are experiencing all we are doing, and that is why the white man referred to us as the black monkey. So I am saying
minus me. Tokbe.
You are the number one.
To fill their party. They defect because of their personal
Comrade, thank you
very much.
Many thanks. Gentlemen, is it a Negroid or black thing?
It is.
Is it African? Is it black?
Yes, it is.
Oh, really?
Yes. To example, for the whites to show us that it is black, they came to West African coast and established a country called Liberia. The word Liberia is derived from the word lib, which is derived from, which is a foundation word for the word liberation. So when they had those guys hanging out after the abolition of slave trade, they were thinking, what will we do with these guys? Look at the way they are behaving. They said there's a space somewhere, so they came there and established that place called Liberia. Then the next place they went to was Sierra Leone. They established whatever. And you know that after a while, some of our chiefs and big men at that time has refused to end the war, to end slave trade. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's a black thing. And you find our people migrating now to Europe, crossing the Mediterranean Sea, and you see this guy calling from UK and those who are trying to call him from England, because those places have been built up and all that. And like I said to Uncle Yori here the last time I came here,
they are in a safe place.
They are in a place that they have a safe net for their people. So they go there and they try to, as usual, as a black man, break into it. But here, they are leaving the place that is fertile. They are leaving the place that is, there are opportunities to plant corn, to plant yam and all that.
Opportunities.
There are a lot of opportunities here, but we're living here and going over there. So it's a black man thing. So Saraki will not leave that place. You know why? Because it's a black man thing to sit in a place where you are carrying a moral. But by the way, what happened to your conscience? You know they sleep. The reason why people, the reason I'm a Christian, the reason why we are told in church not to commit sin, and the Bible tells us not to commit sin, is very simple. It's because God wants you to have a constant, complete narrow view of your life. But when you are in sin, like these people, you lose it. You don't see completely.
Okay. Nasir,
and your senses are...
come on. Your language can be...
Continent.
Continent.
Use
continent.
As TV continental.
It can be black.
And yeah, your language can be continent. Nasir, welcome. Brother Nasir, are you there? Yeah.
Good morning.
Let's go.
Morning.
Yep.
Good morning.
We greet you.
Yeah, I want to salute the courage of your... Hello?
You are on, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank your guests here this morning, and I salute their courage. Are you with me?
You are on, sir. Go on.
Yes, I want to salute the courage of your guests here this morning.
Thank you.
I'm a regular listener of this program. The guy that called from UK, please, I'm begging you, my friend there, don't allow his comment to bother you.
No.
We have dealt with
it. In UK, they don't know what is happening in Nigeria. If he's saying that you are being sponsored to come to that program, please, it's his personal opinion. And on the he wrote TVC apology. The guy Charles has been calling. I know he must be a PDP member. I don't care. He's been biased.
Tit for tat. Nasir, no.
And stop talking people on this program. My brother, I am entitled to my opinion. You never stopped Charles when he was making his comment.
No. But when you make it fire for fire, I don't like it. But go on.
Please, my brother. We are in Nigeria, and we know what is happening in Nigeria. I've traveled to UK several times for holidays. Not that I'm going to do brother London. Please caution him so that I stop insulting guests on this program. Thank you.
All right. Okay. But it must be stated.
Yes.
Just
yes.
The caller has a right, is entitled to his opinion. My quarrel was, you don't fight fire for fire. It keeps you at the same level with the guy.
Yeah, we have even dealt with this, and even some of the issues he raised was tautological. I said it clearly from onset that Akpabio will not have any choice. Having left a minority position, he will not have I said that clearly. And we are not saying Bukola Saraki is a constitutional thing, because the constitution makes it difficult to but we said there are moral responsibilities, and there are also precedents all over the world. When the Democrat lost control of Parliament, this woman left immediately as the Speaker of Parliament, and then the other man took over. Nancy Pelosi left as the Speaker immediately. The moment that is standard.
Decency.
And that's standard.
But you folks have said it's a black thing.
So, and then the black man will want to hold on to his seat. Look at what Paul Biya is doing at 85. Look at before Mugabe was chased away. And the only black man that has shown courage, that has shown dexterity in showing example, which wanted the passenger to have copied, was Mandela. When Mandela, even though you have 2 terms to run, you opted for one, set the stage, and then went to the backyard, which was expected our Almighty Obasanjo to have done, and which he refused to do, and to look at that bad precedent that was refused to do in 2003. it's not culminating
all right. You're
system.
getting excited again.
I'm not getting excited, Jones.
Hold on.
To put the facts clear to everybody.
Oshoma, I greet you. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Yes, sir.
And good morning to the panelists there.
Good morning,
sir.
Please, I would like to ask Alexa one question, please. Hello?
Go on.
Okay. I would like to check this issue with what happened to Tabowa in 2014 or 2013. I think Aresta was in support of Tabowa not losing his seat during PDP era. Why is he in support of Saraki losing his this thing now? Can you remember?
Yes, I remember.
You Citizen Jones, why you were in, you used to hold panel show then. Alesta and Barista Libolius Oshoma and what is the name, Bola Oba wanted to have issue concerning that whatsoever then.
Yes.
So why are you in support of Saraki leaving the seat now and then you were supporting Tabuwa that is a bigger pay for PDP to swallow them?
Yeah,
okay.
Are you done, sir? Are you done?
Sir.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Did you remember the day after the defections took place? Did you remember the statement made by Femi Gbajabiamila when he rose up to speak and he addressed what's his name now? Well, I can't remember his name. The man from Delta who was the deputy then majority leader as deputy minority leader.
A slip?
No, not a slip. And the man protested and he said, as at this point in time, APC had the majority number. As at that time. And that became a problem. They started beginning to count. If I remember the man's name, I mean, Mulikat was the leader of the house then.
Leader, yes.
Yes, and then what's his name? Ogo. Leo Ogo was deputy leader, and then Gbajabiamila was the minority leader. And so when after the defection took place and there was that reshufflement, Gbajabiamila said at that point that APC was the majority, and so he called himself a leader of the house, and Leo Ogo as the deputy minority leader, and that brought a problem.
Okay, hold
so
it.
that was on the premise upon which.
Alessa, hold it.
Can you listen to me? Gbajabiamila self-acclaimed. Hello.
You are on.
Gbajabiamila self-acclaimed that he was the majority leader, not declared by the House of Representatives.
Because they have the number.
That is the reason why. When events are happening, do not support wrongdoing.
Because they have the number.
Okay, hold it. Oshoma.
Yes.
Okay, quickly, if you can make it in 10 seconds. Do you hold it? Do you support Akpabio on this score?
If the APC there had supported Tabowa to drop his seat now, I would have supported.
You have not answered.
It's not in support.
Are you in support of Akpabio or not?
No, because the president.
Okay.
So look. For me, really, if we must have a good country that looks like Britain, look like Germany, look like Scotland, anywhere, we must impress on that moral.
You are closing.
Yes, on that moral aspect of our lives, which is lost, and we cannot keep losing it because of
morality is not African.
No, it's our original culture. Morality is our original culture. It's not in Eastern Africa that they say people keep their things on the street and you go pick it up, put the money and go away. Is that not high-level morality? Is that not high-level standard? In those days,
and it was not legislated.
In those days, Citizen John, if you are accused of stealing in a community, will you not be ostracized? Will people who do business do anything with you? Just being accused of you're a thief. When we are small, if you pick something in the house and your parents say they're going to report you to a teacher or anything, will you not cry out and make all the promises? Is that not our in fact, is that not who we are? How come today someone is accused of being of pilfering the commonwealth of his state, and the man will come to EFCC and write boldly and have governors and future leaders of the country to come up for a meeting?
Why are you putting us on
I'm not putting you on anything. I'm only putting on the moral aspect of the world. And finally, the citizen. With respect to what they said in Akwa Ibom, let the Akwa Ibom not fret that anybody wants to cause mayhem in Akwa Ibom. If the table has changed, when Akpabio was with them, he was a good boy. If the table has changed, let us accept the change.
All right,
peace.
Moko, how do you close?
I close by saying that the British people colonized us. And today, and for many decades and centuries, they have operated a non-constitutional government. So meaning that morality and whatever is what is guiding them. We have existed before Constitution came into this country. We know what is right, we know what is wrong. We should always do what is right. Religion also came. Even though me, I'm not somebody who is interested in religion, but I'm interested in religiosity, in practicing what I have heard. Saraki and everybody else, the president, Saraki, everybody in the street, every Nigerian should leave enough good example for our children, especially this generation of young people in the Senate.
And
they
you know
should behave well.
Because it is possible.
It's possible, and it's doable.
All right, Lester Wilcox, thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me, citizen. Nobody sponsored me here. I came on your invitation.
Sometimes I think I don't know you. Chooks Nwoko, many thanks for coming.
My delight, Citizen Jones.
All right, folks, we'll leave it there, but not before I had said this. Knowing the right thing to do and not doing it is a terrible form of cowardice.
The Bible says the person is
I'm out of here. There's another program tomorrow.